In sports, nothing hits harder than a savage comeback. It's not just about the numbers, it's about proving everyone wrong when they thought you were done. These are the moments that break logic, silence critics, and turn players into legends. Whether it's a football team rising from a 3-goal deficit, a golfer clawing back from 10 shots behind, or a burned F1 driver racing weeks after a near-fatal crash, comebacks like these change everything. In today's video, we're running through the top 10 most savage comebacks in sports history, the ones that went from hopeless to historic. Hit like and subscribe for more top-tier sports content, and let's start with a Champions League final that stunned the world. 10 Liverpool UEFA Champions League Final 2005. It was halftime in Istanbul, and Liverpool were getting torn apart. AC Milan led 3-0. Maldini scored in the first minute. Crespo added 2 more. The match looked over. Milan had experience, star power, and complete control. But Rafa Benitez made a daring switch at the break, bringing on Dietmar Hamann and moving to a back 3. It changed everything. Gerrard headed one in. Smicer followed with a strike from distance. Then Alonso scored off the rebound from his own missed penalty. In just 6 minutes, it was 3-3. The game went to penalties. Jerzy Dudek, channeling his inner showman, danced on the line and got in Milan's heads. He saved Shevchenko's final penalty. Liverpool won 3-2. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a miracle, turning shock into football legend. 9. Tiger Woods, The Masters, 2019. By 2019, Tiger Woods was no longer the superstar he once was. Years of injuries, personal troubles, and 4 back surgeries had dropped him to 1,193rd in the world rankings. He struggled to even swing a golf club without pain, and many thought his career was over. But at the Masters, Tiger changed everything. He started the final round 2 shots behind the leaders. While others made mistakes, Molinari hit the water, Koepka slipped, Tiger stayed calm. He shot a solid 70 and won by 1 stroke. It was his 15th major title, his first in 11 years, and the first time he'd won a major from behind. Tiger didn't just come back, he proved everyone wrong and made one of the greatest returns in sports history. 8. Paul Lawrie, British Open, 1999. Paul Lawrie started the final round at Carnoustie 10 shots behind. No one gave him a chance. The spotlight was on Jean van de Velde, who held a 3-shot lead heading into the final hole. All van de Velde needed was a double bogey. Instead, he imploded. Tee shot into the rough, second off a grandstand, third into the Barry Burn. Triple bogey. Just like that, he dropped into a playoff with Lawrie and Justin Leonard. Lawrie, calm and clinical, shot even par over 4 playoff holes while the others fell apart. He won his first and only major in the most chaotic finish the Open had ever seen. From nowhere to champion, Lawrie's win wasn't just improbable, it was the biggest final round comeback in major golf history. 7. Boston Red Sox, American League Championship Series, 2004, down 0-3 to the New York Yankees in the ALCS. The Red Sox were dead in the water. No team had ever come back from that hole in MLB playoff history. Game 3 was a 19-8 humiliation, but in Game 4, Kevin Miller drew a walk, Dave Roberts stole second, and David Ortiz hit a walk-off. The tide turned. Ortiz did it again in Game 5. Then came Curt Schilling's bloody sock game in Game 6. By Game 7, the Sox were rolling. Johnny Damon's grand slam crushed Yankee Stadium. Final score, 10-3. Boston completed the most savage comeback in baseball. They didn't stop there. They swept the Cardinals in the World Series and shattered the curse of the Bambino. From historic collapse to pure redemption, the Sox didn't just beat the Yankees, they rewrote the game. 6. Michael Jordan, NBA return, 1995. In 1993, Michael Jordan walked away from basketball at his peak. 3 straight titles, MVPs, global fame, then gone. Shattered by his father's murder, he tried pro baseball. It didn't work out, but in 1995, 2 words changed everything. I'm back. After 18 months off the court, Jordan returned to the Bulls. Rusty at first, he still dropped 55 on the Knicks in his 5th game back. Chicago went 13-4 to close the season. The next year, MJ went full beast mode. The Bulls won 72 games, and he led them to 3 more titles. He picked up 2 MVPs and 3 Finals MVPs along the way. Jordan didn't just return, he came back as the undisputed king, turned doubt into dominance, and reminded the world why he was the greatest.
Ben Stokes was 135 not out in England, had beaten Australia in the 3rd Test. Kerry O'Keefe, tell me this isn't real.
5. Ben Stokes, Ashes Test at Headingley, 2019. England were all but buried. Bowled out for 67 in the first innings, chasing 359, and 9 wickets down with 73 still needed. It was over. Then Ben Stokes happened. Calm at first, he blocked, defended, and bled time. Then he flipped the switch. 6s off Lyon, back-to-back bombs off Hazelwood, a reverse sweep for the ages. Jack Leach stood firm at the other end with just 1 run. Stokes did the rest. Australia blew chances. A dropped catch, a missed run out, a wasted review, none of it mattered. Stokes smashed the winning runs through cover, fell to his knees, and Headingley erupted. 135 not out. One of the greatest test innings ever played. It wasn't just a win, it was Stokes dragging England from the grave with sheer willpower and madness.
Never give up, really. It's not over till it's over. You know, when Leachy came in, it was pretty clear what had to be done. Just saying 5 and 1, you know, I'll take 5 and you take 1.
4. Leicester City, Premier League, 2016. At the start of the 2015-16 season, Leicester were favorites to get relegated. Again, just months earlier, they'd been bottom of the table. Their manager got sacked. Claudio Ranieri came in, and nobody expected anything. But then came the run. Jamie Vardy scored in 11 straight games. Riyad Mahrez lit up every pitch. N'Golo Kante ran the midfield like a machine. Game after game, they kept winning. The Giants stumbled. Leicester didn't. They clinched the title with 2 games to spare, finishing 10 points clear, 5,000 to 1 odds. No superstars, no budget, just heart, grit, and belief. Leicester didn't just win the league. They flipped football on its head and pulled off the greatest underdog comeback in Premier League history. 3. Bethany Hamilton returned to surfing, 2004. Bethany Hamilton was 13 when a 14-foot tiger shark ripped off her left arm. For most people, that's the end of the story. Not for Bethany. Less than a month later, she was back in the water. 3 months after the attack, she was competing again. By 2005, she won her first national title. Surfing one-armed against full-bodied pros, she didn't just hold her own, she beat them. Bethany relearned how to paddle, pop up, and carve waves with half the limbs of her competitors. No easy points, no shortcuts. Her comeback wasn't about wins and losses. It was about guts, resilience, and refusing to be defined by tragedy. Bethany didn't just return to surfing. She came back fearless and proved that nothing, not even a shark, could take her dream away. 2. Niki Lauda returned to Formula 1, 1976. Niki Lauda nearly died at the Nürburgring. His Ferrari burst into flames. He was trapped inside for nearly a minute and the burns left him scarred for life. He lost most of his right ear, inhaled toxic smoke, and slipped into a coma. Doctors read him his last rites. 6 weeks later, yes, 6, Lauda showed up at Monza with his face still bandaged, climbed back into the cockpit, and finished 4th. That alone would have been legendary, but he wasn't done. In 1977, just a season after nearly burning alive, Lauda won the World Championship. His body was wrecked, but his mind unbreakable. Lauda didn't just come back. He raced through pain, stared down death, and proved that real champions don't flinch when the track gets dark. 1. Barcelona, Champions League miracle, 2017. Barcelona were humiliated in Paris, 4-0 down to PSG after the first leg. No team had ever come back from that in Champions League history, but at Camp Nou, something unreal happened. Suarez scored early, an own goal followed. Messi buried a penalty, then Cavani scored for PSG, and it looked over again. Barca needed 3 goals in the final minutes. Neymar went nuclear. Free kick, penalty. And then, in the 95th minute, he floated a ball into the box. Sergi Roberto slammed it home. 6-1. Aggregate 6-5. The stadium roared. The football world lost its mind. Barcelona didn't just win, they pulled off the greatest comeback European football has ever seen. One game, one night, one miracle that changed everything. Comebacks are part of sports, but these were next level. They weren't just clutch performances, they were full-blown emotional turnarounds that redefined what's possible. From teams crushed in the first half to players who came back from surgeries, crashes, or even shark attacks, every story on this list was about more than just a win. They were about the heart, grit, insane belief, And they're why we watch. So what's the most savage comeback you've ever seen? Drop it in the comments. We want to hear it. And if you love deep sports stories and iconic moments like these, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown.